This week on the podcast, we're talking about my struggle with social media and why I hate Instagram so much.
So while I was having my baby bubble, you were talking on social media about social media. Tell me, I only caught bits and pieces. So tell me what it is you've been thinking about.
I don't have a fully fleshed out thesis about social media, but I've just not been enjoying. So my whole thing was I was asking people if you could give up Instagram, if you didn't need Instagram for your business, would you? And some people were like, yeah, some people were like, no. And I was like, I would give it up in a heartbeat. If I just want this, the thing is, I love Instagram stories. I really like when I do videos and people message me. I like those conversations. I like seeing your glimpses of your life. I enjoy Instagram stories a lot. I enjoy texting with you way more, but I like Instagram stories. That's fine. If I could just get everyone on Snapchat, I think, though I don't like what Snapchat's done recently. But my point is, if I could delete Instagram from my life, if I could delete the idea of me putting out YouTube videos and all of my I would delete it all. I don't know if I enjoy social media anymore. And I'm I don't feel like I have a place. I'm not an Instagram influencer and I'm not in YouTube world, which there's YouTube that you guys consume, and then there's the YouTube world which I involve myself in, and there's certain categories. There's beauty channels, and there's tech reviewers, and there's people who do gaming, and there's the cool 20 somethings who are traveling. I don't know, there's channels, and I'm not in any of them. I feel like I'm 32 and I'm too old for this nonsense. I'm frustrated with algorithms. I like Instagram stories and I like my Facebook group, but I don't feel like I'm connecting with anyone. I'm so tired of just putting stuff out there and it not I don't know who views it. I just want more connection from my social media, and I don't know where to go to get that.
Interesting. That is okay, I had to laugh when you said you're 32 because I'm 36. And I was like, oh God, I'm too old for YouTube. I have to delete my YouTube account. Yes, no, but so I'm super curious to know if it is because you so you said three different things there. So one is that you don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then one is that you don't know where you fit in because you're not an influencer and you don't have a big channel. So that's so the first one is I don't actually enjoy making it. The second one is I don't get enough impact for for the work I put into it to make it worthwhile, right? I think that's what that one is about.
It's more just if I don't fit into any of those categories, yeah, am I making an impact on those platforms?
Right. And then the third is there's no connection. So even right, even if you had 100 Instagram followers, but they talk to you every day, it might feel more better. So those are, if you truly don't enjoy it, then I think the other two don't matter. Yeah. Right? Well, no, I guess they do, because if you didn't enjoy it, but you felt like it was having a huge impact, right? People create these, right? People create these huge Instagram or YouTube channels or profiles, and then they hate it, but it's almost too big to quit, which to me sounds horrible.
I think it's a trifecta, right? Either I really enjoy it, but having connection and having an impact makes me enjoy it. I enjoy things where I feel like there's connection. So it's not I don't enjoy trying to take a photo for Instagram. I hate taking photos for Instagram. I don't mind the writing bit. That I'm getting better at. But it was if it didn't matter what I posted, if I could just post a black square and just write something, and then there was loads of comments and engagement, then right, that would be okay. It's a whole trying to balance all three of those things.
Totally. So if we were my client, can I ask you questions I'd ask?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
So first is what if you could, there's two parts. Is you could, okay, nobody's stopping you from posting whatever you want to post on Instagram. You can literally post pictures of poop, or dirty diapers. whatever you want. And there's like actually a whole like mommy blogger world that does that, right? But then you said like, and you'd get loads of comments. So like, what are you comparing yourself to? Like, do you think some of this comes from comparison to just just painful comparison, like not helpful comparison?
I think I don't think I'm comparing myself to anyone else. Like I certainly don't like look at other accounts and be like, "Oh, they have loads of comments." I think so like one of my metrics for comparison is like my Facebook group, which is really involved, and I do like the Facebook group setup. So it's kind of like I have in my mind like 100 people who I know like really follow me and like will engage with stuff. But it's that like not that I want 100 comments. It's a hard conversation to have. It's not like I want 100 comments so I can say, oh, this post has 100 comments. It's like I want to have 100 conversations. Like I just want to have
Right.
conversations day after day after day, and I don't know where I should be focusing my time and energy and building my community so that I'm having those conversations. Right, like because I'm all over the place. So like I make a YouTube video and like 30 people watch it, and that's great, and people message me and tell me like, I really love this series you're doing on YouTube, but they message me on Instagram, and like no one's over on YouTube like saying, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's all over the place, and I'm just like, I feel like instead of dropping one big rock in a pond and having massive ripples, I'm like throwing 100 pebbles, and I feel like I'm not having any impact anywhere.
Yes, it makes me think that you should do what you kind of talked about a while back, which is just go inside your Facebook group,
Well,
like do your videos because
that's
you like making videos, right?
yes, I like live streaming. I could
Okay.
well, not even live streaming. I like just recording a video on my phone, unedited, and putting it up there. And the easiest way for me to do that is live streaming because it doesn't let me edit. Like, I don't need a lot of interaction when I live stream. I just like that in the moment, just record a video, put it up there. So that is what I'm planning on doing for those of you who watch this and don't follow me anywhere else. I'm starting a new Facebook group. So I have two brands, and I have one Facebook group for one brand, and it's going really well. So I'm going to start a Facebook group for the other brand, and almost like MySpace from the old days, like everything's going to go there. Like I can put videos there, I can live stream there, I can write like long form posts there, and try that and just try and funnel everyone from the different places to one Facebook group and just try and have all the conversations there.
And you're okay with the fact that for a while that's going to be quiet, like
Yeah.
because it's like if what you most want a good conversation, I would say just like go to the Facebook group you already have and put everything there because there's
Well,
already people there.
it's
You know
two
what I'm
different
saying?
content, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
the group that I have is the Tech Editor Hub, and it's trying to,
about
that's just for tech editors. So the Jolie Creates Facebook group, which is, that's not its name, will be more for discussions. So while we were off, I enrolled in a life coaching certification course. It'll be
right.
more discussions related to the, this idea of just like smashing the patriarchy, the things that I get angry about every single day. Like I just need a Facebook group where I can rant about those things every day. Like how much space are we allowed to take up? How loud can we be? How angry can we
Right.
be? What should our anger look like?
I think that the name of your group is like Create and Rage with Jolie. That's what I think it is. Because, like, the creative dreamers, like, that all sounds much too happy. Like, it should be, like, either create and rage or, like, create and rant or, like, create. Because your website, your business name is Jolie Creates.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to have the word create in there, I think. And then even, like, create change with Jolie, create and.
We're workshopping it. I
Right.
didn't tell you this. So I got really frustrated with trying to name a Facebook group, and I was like, is this the best use of my time? Let me try and outsource it. And so I hired just not anything expensive, just to test it out. And one of their suggestions for the group of empowering women was soulful skirts. Because
No, there's a business already called that. I saw that on your Instagram. A, that sucks. They should not have suggested it. B, there is Selling with a Skirt, which is like a pretty big brand for salespeople. And then there's Soulful Selling. So, like, I would have, no. No.
it's a terrible name. Why would I want to be called a skirt? Like let's just refer to a group of women as skirts.
As
Like
skirts.
no.
Right. Because it's
That's what the whole group is about. It's about raging at stupid things like that.
Right. Yes. So I think I like create and rage with Jolie. You can always go back and change it when you're
Yeah.
not feeling so rageful. So that's the other thing is I think that I don't want to sound like I'm minimizing at all what you're feeling about everything, but I also think that it will shift because this is like I can't stand the Facebook feed, especially because so much of it is political, but like Facebook groups has like made me feel less bad about Facebook in general.
Yeah.
Actually, I still feel horrible about the company, but like the groups has like changed my experience. And actually Facebook Messenger, which I avoided forever, like now I really love and is part of my day-to-day life. So like even the same thing with texting. I used to hate texting, and like now that I'm texting with people I like, it's fine. So I think it might shift over time, but it sounds like the solution is like to go into your Facebook group and put posts everywhere else and say like, to get this kind of content, come here.
Yeah.
And then just stop paying attention to those. Don't keep showing up in a way that just like makes you feel bad about them.
Yeah, that's
Awful.
true. I think so. We didn't talk about this. Sometimes so much happens. So part of the life coaching certification process is we do coaching sessions with each other. Like in our class, we like learn something, and then we do breakout groups where we take turns being coach and client. And so in one of these sessions, when I was being the client, we were talking about something, a video I wanted to make. And I said something like, oh, well, I think I'm really good about making like the videos where I'm vulnerable and I talk about anxiety, but like I really should do this. And my coach was like, why don't you just do the thing you're good at? And I was like, well, I don't know. It just seems like I should be doing this other thing. She's like, but why don't you just do the thing you're good at? And I realized I have a problem of undervaluing what I'm good at. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I should push myself further. It's like whatever I'm good at, I go, oh, but that's really not like valuable, worthy. That's not like if it's because like I'm not good at Instagram, I obsess about Instagram and like I should be better at it and I should go learn to take photos instead of just being like, I'm not good at Instagram, I'm not going to do it. I'm really good at like forming community in a Facebook group. I should just do that. Like I've got to learn to value my strengths.
Exactly. And almost everybody does this to different degrees because we're good at it. We think it's not hard, right? Because that's part of it is you're not valuing it because you don't see that other people can't do it. Like I am certain people are listening to this podcast who are like, I could never make a video that's vulnerable. Like it is something that's super valuable, especially in our internet landscape, like videos where you're really yourself, you're authentic, you're vulnerable. Those words are all overused, but like that is valuable, not just like good for you and easy, but like it's actually valuable for your business. That's actually like one of the things that like I try to teach people to be more of because it's going to be so good for their business. And that might sound really like cavalier and like commercial and capitalist, but like that's part of what we're doing online. It's building businesses. So I think recognizing that like that's actually going to be good for your business, that's super valuable. That's a skill a lot of people don't have. Yeah, you kind of value that. And anything that comes easily to you, like that's a book we're going to talk about in a future episode, Discover Your Strengths. Like it's all built on the idea that like there's all this data from their polling that shows that people who have jobs based on their strengths that just ignore their weaknesses have better, have more success in their business or life, but also have like more happiness, which makes sense, right? Because if you're constantly focusing on taking Instagram photos, you're going to be a less happy person than if every day you just shoot a live stream.
Right. And I do want to say, like, the reason why I have been taking Instagram photos is because I come up with these, like, long form text things that I want to say, and I don't have another place to put them. Like, they're not long enough for a blog post, and I don't even do anything with my blog, and it's text, so it's not going to be a video, and it's too long for, right? So it's like, where do I put this? And so it's just been like, oh, I have to put it on Instagram, so I've got to take a photo to and then it's just like this whole thing, and then I never share that. And I'm like, it's probably a valuable piece of content. So that was like, what's the content that I like producing, which is live streams and long form text, and like
Mhm.
where can I share that best? And so then I was like, well, let me try a Facebook group because I've had good luck with that in the past. Like my Facebook
Yeah.
group is for the Tech Editor Hub is probably like the most popular thing I do.
Mhm.
I just don't acknowledge it because I'm good at it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So take those long written things, just put them on Facebook. They won't
Yeah,
need a picture.
right.
Um, the other thing is like, so my business coach brain can't stop from saying, like, you realize on Instagram. So if we're working together, I tell you, like, go back through your Instagram feed, look at your most, which you can see in the analytics, your most popular photos. Find 20 to 30 of them, save them to your phone again, cycle through those photos, and then type whatever you want to type under them.
Yeah, I just
Don't
find
just
that.
do
Yeah. No,
it.
so I
No,
did when I was doing that with the Tech Editor Hub Instagram account, I was really good about just taking pictures of like yarn and stuff. And I think I think the photos that do best on my Jolie Creates account are pictures of me, which brings
right,
up whole other issues about
right.
taking pictures of myself and putting them online. Like that just is
Totally.
like, oh, I can't do that. Like so it is like if I look at what's most popular, it's like, oh, but then I've got to take
Always.
pictures of myself.
Exactly. What I'm saying is you don't have to take new ones every week.
Right.
You can just use the same ones. And this would be like, this isn't actually the suggestion I'm making to you right now.
No,
I
I
think
know.
you should go in your Facebook group. But to anybody who's out there that's like, I actually do want to use Instagram for my business, I like writing a lot, just use the same 20 to 30 photos. Your followers won't know. And you can just stop taking photos for like a year, and then something will happen that's very photographable, and you'll take a bunch of new ones and kind of like, you know, change it up with the new, more seasonally appropriate photos. But actually, I'm not going to out her, but I have a Starship member who did this. She just took a bunch of photos of her. She has physical products. She literally, if you scroll back through, like every 25, it's the same photos again. And she writes whatever she wants to write. And it'll be like the third time she posted a photo and it'll kind of like pop, right? So like she'll get lots of comments on that photo, but it's the third or fourth time it's shown up because people don't remember what they've seen.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I don't know like what the main takeaway of this all is, but I do want to encourage you guys like if you don't like the social media that you're using, like figure out a way to stop using it. And I haven't decided. Like I'm don't think I'll delete Instagram off my phone just because I do love stories so much and like
Mhm.
that's fun and easy for me to share. So I'm not ready to just be like deleting Instagram, but if something else came out that like that's what I want. First of all, I like newness. I like my favorite time of business was when Periscope popped. And
I know.
like I was one of the first people who like really adopted it in our community and Tara adopted it and I liked so the thing I liked about Periscope we had a community of people who were doing live video and we used to tune in to each other's live videos. So there was that two-way connection where I would do a live stream and then sometimes right after we used to do a chain like I would hop off and someone else would hop on and I would go watch them and it really felt like we had a community of people and it was a new platform and it was fun and exciting. Like I just want a new form of social media to pop and like not then I could just ditch Instagram. Like I just need something new and exciting and like I
Yes.
don't feel like Facebook groups is perfect. I don't feel like YouTube is perfect, especially with the way they're pushing the creators and the whole advertising. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on in the YouTube world. I think Instagram it's become far too I don't know.
Composed.
Yeah, yeah, composed and it's I don't like anything where there is a trend. Like there's a type of photo that does really well because I
Yeah.
think like it's become this self-perpetuating circle. There's a some person got popular with a certain type of photo, everyone copied, and then people teach classes saying how to get popular on Instagram, and they teach how to do that aesthetic, and it's just become like this whole thing. And I'm like, does anyone even like doing that? Does anyone like? I don't know.
Right.
So
Right.
I've been trying to like figure out even who I want to follow on Instagram. because I'm trying to be conscious of like not following people that are always just perfect.
So what if you only used Instagram for Instagram stories?
Well,
Like
that's what
you
I've,
posted Instagram stories and you followed people you like on Instagram stories and you just like told yourself the feed didn't exist.
yeah.
Would that
Now, if I
bring it
could hide I think my dream world would be Instagram Stories gets its own app, because I have to get out of that habit of mindlessly scrolling down my feed, or I just need to like mute everyone. I could just mute everyone.
Yes. So I unfollowed like a trillion people. As part of my parental leave prep, I unsubscribed from literally every email. So if you're listening and you're a student and I unsubscribed from your email, I unsubscribed from all. And the same thing with Instagram is I unsubscribed or I muted everyone.
Yeah.
Like because I'm following a super few number of people. And it's just because I knew that if I'm in a really vulnerable place, more voices are just bad for my mental health.
Yeah, so if you don't know, on Instagram, you can mute a person altogether, so you still follow them but don't see anything, or you can mute their stories, or you can mute their posts. And now I'm just thinking, because I like watching people's stories, I don't necessarily. And the thing is, if you post in your story, oh, I have a new post on my feed, like I'll probably click it and check it out, but I just like to
Yeah.
consume things that way. I think I should
Yeah.
just mute like 95% of people's feeds, and then I could just see my sister and my dad and like Tara and like the handful of people that like make me like people who I have real life connections with. I actually enjoy seeing their
Right.
Instagram feeds because
Me too.
there's connection there.
Right. Like my college roommates' kids. Like I
Yeah.
love when I find them on Instagram, I'm like, oh, there you are.
That's what I want to get back to. I think part of my struggle is following so many people who I just don't even know. And then I'm like, I don't know why I'm looking at a picture of like your car. Like I just don't know why I'm doing anything. And I think it makes a
Right.
lot more sense that I should follow the people whose stories I really like and keep those stories in my top bar and just have my feed just be, for me right now, just really really minimal, and then there will be nothing to scroll because there won't be any new posts there. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, just use it for stories, and you can use those stories to because you need something outside of the Facebook group to bring
Yeah.
people to the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Which this podcast, and your Instagram stories, that could literally be it.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I was gonna do is I'm gonna have an email that goes out once a week that just talks about highlights from the Facebook group. So if I've dropped a video there, or if there's a good post, or if there was something that had a lot of discussion in the comments, I would just link to those in the email. So, because a lot of people don't want to check Facebook every day, so I'll just have like an email that goes out so you can subscribe to the email list and just be kept up to date with what's going on in the Facebook group. And then I might put like clips on YouTube, and maybe still vlog stuff. I'm trying to keep YouTube open and vague, but
Well,
yeah.
what I do a lot is if I go live in a Facebook group, I will also just go live on YouTube at the same time. And then I have a YouTube, I do the podcast and you edit my vlog, so I have more YouTube content. But sometimes I'm like, I want to do this in two places and I don't want to download and upload, and I will just go live in two places. It's like the minimalist way to have YouTube content. And you like to go live.
Yeah, I did go live on YouTube the other day from so this is when I had the session with the coach, and she was like, just do what you're really good at. I was like, okay. And I went live from my stairs because my kids were running around, and it was like a 2-minute video, and it got like more engagement than any other thing. People were like, I would watch this. And I was like, I'm sitting on my stairs, like who wants to watch this?
So that's the thing, is you could go live in both so that you're keeping the community and conversation in Facebook, and then on the end of the YouTube video be like, this is what I do even more often in the Facebook group, or this is where we have even more conversation. Like what you're seeing here is just me talking, but there's actually interaction over here, and people will go there. The same is true for those of you who are listening to this podcast. We have a Facebook group where you can interact with us while we record live at Take Care of Yourself with Tara and Jolie. So you should join that. I know you don't have your Facebook group up yet. Do you have a link we can
actually?
Oh, you do?
I finished doing it today. So if you go to facebook.com/groups/wildly daring, that's the name for right now. And I will put it in the link to these show notes.
Excellent.
I did see someone said more connection needed 53 here. The whole age thing is funny because I got some feedback about a course that I sell where the person thought I was too young. She's like, that was her reason for not buying, was she's like, I just don't think you're old enough to like teach this subject. And I was like, but obviously there is a ton of older than 30 creators on YouTube. There are tons of people in 40s. Like Gary Vee is 40 something, and
He's almost 50, I feel
I
like.
think
Maybe.
that's what I feel like.
Yeah.
I think he's like 10 years older, but there's definitely obviously people of all ages. I just feel like at 30, I am too old to be in the cool 20 something still figuring out my life category, and like too young to be like, oh, I've lived a whole life and I have so many stories and you can trust me because I have all this experience. Like it's just my personal hang up of like, oh, I'm not a young cool 20 something who's like excited about all the new tech coming out, but I'm also not like I don't have my shit figured out. Like I'm not old enough to tell anyone anything.
That's great about it. You know, like that's like Gary Vee talks about all the time. Like you're in the middle of the process.
Yeah.
Like that's what people want to watch on YouTube and Instagram. I mean, Instagram has, I feel like you and I pay attention to a particular segment of Instagram that's incredibly designy and artistic and beautiful, but that's actually not. Like there's a million people on Instagram who are Instagram famous who post pictures of their abs. Like
Yeah.
we just don't see that, right?
That's
And then
true.
there's a million people who post like travel, which maybe you follow more of. Like my mom follows all of these really big surfer, like they post pictures of surfing, or Christian pastors. Like, right? Like there's a whole thing
Yeah.
about Bible journaling, like art journaling
Yeah.
in your that like so they're massive. They have
Yeah.
like 100K followers and they like paint in their Bible. So all of that to say like that people want to see people in the middle.
Yes. I
Like
will.
also
Yeah.
we get like too narrow on what's popular on Instagram.
Yes, I will say that I know that part of the problem is I feel like I'm transitioning out of the knitting community. Like I still knit, but not nearly as much as I did. It was when I was heavily involved in that community, and like the new business, like the life coaching, it's not necessarily working with knitters and crafters. Like I'm much more focused on just women in general, and so it is then I think it's like where do I fit? Like I'm trying to find like my cafeteria table to sit at, like,
Yeah.
which table do I go to? And I'm like,
Right.
I don't like that. I think that's the thing. Like, I don't know who to follow, and I don't know, like, because I'm just like, well, I'm not a knitter anymore, really, and like, I don't buy yarn, so like, I don't need to follow all these yarn dyers, and it's that thing of like, still looking for my tribe. Like, where are my people at?
Right, right. And I think that like especially as you move more towards life coaching, more of your people are going to be like normal women who want to see that you're like a normal woman, not other women life coaches, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because then there'll be all kinds of comparisons and like
Right.
horribleness. So remind me to send you one when we're done, actually. But yeah, like I think that you being in the middle, like you're not brand new to life. You have 2 kids and a business, a super successful business under your belt, and you don't have it all figured out, that you have your whole like life to look back on. Also, by the way, like everybody who's in their mid to late 50s tells me they also don't feel like they have their life figured out. I think Leanne will back me up that like we're not going to hit an age where you're like, I'm the wise elder now. Maybe 8, but like that's pretty far away.
Yeah.
So, people like to see that you're like not figuring it out, but it's what the person told you you're so good at that you should value, is being vulnerable in the middle.
Yeah, I probably could just stop trying to do Instagram from the point of view of like a creative influencer type account and actually just post like real life stuff.
Yes. And I mean, you could also just like you could take 20 pictures of the sky and post the sky and then write whatever you want to
I
write.
think I'm just going to pretend that you're the only one who sees my Instagram feed, and I'm just going to post things that I know Tara would like.
That would be great. And like the thing is too, is like if say it's a picture of a sky, or like right now all the trees are turning and the sky is really bright blue. So like I took a million pictures over the last 2 days of leaves on sky. I'm not actually going to write any posts about that picture. I'm going to write about the heartbreak of foster care, or like, you know, struggling to, or what I'm grateful for. Like,
No, I do the same.
Right. So when I see pictures like that, I don't even care about what the picture is. I'm just going to read even someone who takes great photos, like me and Orla, you know, Sarah.
Yeah.
I just read her descriptions because her written stuff is so good.
Yeah.
I don't like or comment on her photos because whatever the photo is, even though her photos are like.
I just feel like the whole platform is so messed up at the moment because like we're all trying to take like these great photos, but so many people also tell me they're like, but like I just like the written part. And this whole thing of people are like, engagement is going down because people aren't liking photos, and they're like, you should be liking every photo that you see because like that helps like that person. And it's like almost like some people think that they're owed a like because, you know what I mean? Like there's just a whole weird thing. I don't think Instagram knows what it is anymore. It used to just be a photo sharing platform, and now it's like micro blogging, and I just don't think it knows what it is.
So just go to stories. That's my vote.
Yeah, I will.
You go to stories, and anybody who's watching or listening is welcome to just go and use their stories. But you know what's funny is all of my not business friends use it only for the feed. They literally never see my stories. So I'll say something, I have a local friend who like sees all my photos, comments, whatever, but has no idea what I said in my stories. So she'll ask me like the specific question I just answered in my stories when we're together, which is obviously fine. I don't expect anybody to see the things I post online or all of the things I post online, but it's always funny to me because she's like, you haven't updated Instagram in forever. I miss you on Instagram, or like, I miss seeing your, and I'm like, no, I'm on there every day. You just like, and she's like, oh no, I would never use that. Like a trillion real women use Instagram and never click on stories. And then also vice versa. Like, I feel like a lot of people like watching the stories, but don't pay attention to their feed.
Yeah. I do need to remember to sometimes, like today I finally did it. I'm very guilty of just posting things to my stories, like big things, like, hey, I have coaching spots available, or I have this, and like never posting it to my feed. And they disappear after 24 hours. So it's not even like, oh, people who don't watch stories miss it. It's people who do watch stories but didn't catch that last one miss out on that whole stuff. So like I also need to just like think of my feed as like a recap of stuff I've said in stories.
Yes, that's definitely what I do. I will talk things out in stories and then like come to some conclusion and then post the conclusion on Instagram, or I use it as an advertisement for the podcasts, like my videos. Like I think of my Instagram feed as like, here is the other thing you want to look at from me for today. Maybe 2 to 3 out of 5 days is like sending you someplace else because I'm doing other things.
Yeah. So just things I've been thinking about lately. I think a long conversation about Instagram.
So helpful for people because it's like, it's just a conversation about trying to figure it out. And literally everyone we know with a business is trying to figure this out. Whether they like love Instagram or they hate Instagram, like everybody's trying to figure out some social media tool. Like for me, it's Facebook groups, right? Like I don't want to have more groups, but groups are where all the interaction is and everybody loves it and people want groups, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. So for me, it's like your Instagram is my Facebook groups.
I will say, if you listen to this podcast and you don't have a business and you don't use social media for business, please tell me how you use social media, because I am actually very fascinated by trying to understand how normal people use social media. Because my other gripe with Instagram and social media, which is completely my fault, is that I'm getting tired of being sold to, but that's because I'm obviously following a lot of businesses. And I was like, are other people tired of, do other people feel like they're being sold to all the time on Instagram? Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, if I closed my business and got a 9-to-5 job, like, what would social media look like for me? So if that's you, please tell me, because I'm just curious.
Definitely. You could tell her by coming over to our Facebook group. It's the easiest way to tell her. I'm pretty sure we have comments on our website turned off, which somebody commented to me about, like over on Instagram. And I was like, right, because we can't keep track of comments everywhere. We want you to come talk to us either in the Facebook group, Take Care of Yourself with Tara and Jolie, or on our Instagram account, which we only update every once in a while, which is Take Care Pod on Instagram. Or you can just post on your own Instagram and use a hashtag, and we'll come over and check out your Instagram. It's Take Care Podcast. It's a hashtag. So yeah, thanks for catching up with me this week.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, guys.
We will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.